It is an insurance company's job to pay good claims. But isn't it also an insurance company's job not to pay bad claims? If this fire was caused by arson, then it is a bad claim. If someone intentionally set fire to the Flinders plant to take money from Nismo, to take money from good, honest businesses who need that money to rebuild, then the law says that Nismo should not have to pay that claim. So was this arson? Let's think back to some of the evidence that you heard. You heard in the Chief Fire Marshal's report that hydrochloric acid was used as an accelerant. The acid was used to start the fire and to make it burn hotter, faster, redder. But you also heard that hydrochloric acid itself is not flammable. The conditions have to be just right to get that fire going. If those same 50 gallons are stored exactly as Mr. Jackson says they were, this fire never happens. Small quantities stored in plastic drums and everything is A-okay. No fire, no death. But that's not what happened, is it? Going back to that report, we do have a spark. We do have an explosion, and we do have an estimated hundreds of gallons of that accelerant splashed across the source of that fire. We also have good ventilation. As you learned, a fire spreads much more quickly when there is good ventilation. And on a cold, cold night in mid-November, long after the close of business that day, somebody left a window open. We also have Mr. Avery. Now, we all wish that Mr. Avery were here to tell us what happened that night. But instead, what we have is a pattern. Mr. Avery is hired by Fast Meatpacking Company. 6 weeks later, the building burns down. Suspected cause, arson. Mr. Avery is hired by Yafeng Company. 2 weeks later, the building burns down. Suspected cause, arson. In October of 2008, Mr. Avery is hired by Mr. Jackson to work for the Flinders Aluminum Fabrication Corporation. Weeks later, the building burns down. And what was the suspected cause on Chief Fire Marshal Olson's report? Arson. Mr. Pincus, the plaintiff's witness, never saw the building. He never examined the building. He never saw anything except Chief Olson's report. And yet he feels confident telling you that this is not technically arson. He never saw the building. He never examined the building. He never saw anything except a report. And even Mr. Pincus thinks that Mr. Avery's background is disquieting. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a criminal case. No one is going to jail based on the decision you make today. So if you feel that it is more probable than not, if you believe that it is even the tiniest bit more probable than not that this fire was not an accident, you must find for the defendant. After you weigh all of the evidence, I ask that you find for my client and see this claim for what it truly is, a bad claim. I ask that you find for my client Nismo Fire Insurance Company.